Rockingham Speedway played host to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series once again as Heim dominated in the Black's Tire 200 on Good Friday during Easter weekend. The driver of the Tricon Garage Toyota Tundra and defending champion Heim led a race high and a career-high 178 on 200 laps at the Rock. The win was the second of the season for Heim and the 25th of his career, which is fifth most all-time. However, the race got more interesting towards the end as he had to deal with steering problems and tire vibrations, as well as having to hold off a charge from his Tricon Garage teammate, Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt drives Heim's old 11 Toyota. Even though Heim won the championship last year in the 11, he's not defending it this year as he's a part-time driver in NASCAR. He drives the 67 Toyota Camry part-time for 2311 Racing in the Cup Series. Still, Heim swept the first two stages for the 13th time in his career. His two-stage wins on Friday were the 44th and 45th of his Craftsman Truck Series career. Heim is the first driver this season to score maximum points in a race in any of the top three series due to him winning the first two stages and turning the fastest lap. Heim turned that fastest lap time of 22.965 seconds on lap 174. Even though Heim is not competing for the championship, he got 76 points in the race and is tied with Honeycutt for first in the point standings. That's despite the fact Heim didn't run two races. But there was more that Heim accomplished in the race as he got his second straight win in the Triple Truck Challenge and got a $100,000 bonus. The first win for Heim in the Triple Truck Challenge came the race before at Darlington Raceway, in which he won that race and a last lap pass. He got a $50,000 bonus after winning that race. Heim will also race for $500,000 in the next race at Bristol Motor Speedway. If he wins that race, he will receive that prize money in what is known as a trip for short. Heim also set a new record by leading a lap for the 29th consecutive Craftsman Truck Series race that he has started. That broke the previous record of 28 that was held by Kyle Busch. Heim got his start in the Craftsman Truck Series, driving for Busch's team and Kyle Busch Motorsports. Heim also won at a 21st different track, which tied Mike Skinner for second all-time. Here's Heim talking about what was going through his mind at the end of this race after having to hold off his former team in the 11 truck in Honeycutt to get the win and more, courtesy of FS1.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like I was pushing any harder than the previous run, so I didn't feel like I did any more damage to the right front, but all of a sudden I think it was like 4 to go. My truck started just like, I had to turn more right down the straightaway to keep it straight. You know, my wheel was clocked like 20 degrees to the right, and then we started shattering really bad in the corners. I was like, oh boy, here we go. We're going to lose this one in the worst way possible, but hung in there and just had to use a couple of lap car picks there to fend them off. Respect to Caden for racing clean there. I had to do what I had to do there at the end, but first win for Robin Hood, first win in my J's, my race shoes here. Thank you to Toyota Tricon for having me back again. I really enjoyed doing this. Definitely a stressful ending there, but got it done. Going for $500K next week.
Heim was also asked on what it's like on days like this to have a dominant performance with the team and truck he had and a butt whooping and more, also courtesy of FS1.
It's fun, for sure. I mean, this group did an incredible job. I mean, I worked with them in Atlanta, but Atlanta's such a weird track. You don't really get to understand your speed and kind of what the truck's capable of, but these guys, Jeremy, my crew chief, and this entire one crew, Nick Payne and the spotter stand, just proved that they're an elite team this weekend and can hang with the best of them for sure.
Heim also talked about what does it mean to get $150K for him and his team in the second leg of the Triple Truck Challenge and more, also on FS1.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I don't really think about it in the truck, you know, but it's cool to reflect on it, and I think I'd be the first person to sweep all three if I'm able to do it. So a lot of motivation for these guys in the one camp, and with Celsius as our primary next week, so I'm super excited about that. But glad we come here with Robin Hood today and get their first win.
Despite all that Heim accomplished in the race, he still had to give it all he had to hold off his teammate Honeycutt, who was looking for his first win. Heim was experiencing a vibration that was similar to a tire losing air and had to work through lap traffic as the race was about to finish. Honeycutt got to Heim's bumper with 3 laps to go in the race and was ahead of Heim for a bit to lead the white flag lap. However, Heim drove aggressively into turn 1 and used teammate Tanner Gray to block Honeycutt's progress. Gray finished 16th, 2 laps down. As the two drivers were exiting turn 4 on the final lap, Heim had a small lead and crossed the finish line 0.090 seconds ahead of the truck he drove to the championship with. Honeycutt, who was so close to winning the race and getting his first career win, finished second specifically. Here's Honeycutt talking about the result of his race and more, courtesy of FS1.
That was everything I had. No doubt about that. Just, man, thank you to Safe Flight and everyone on this 11 team. They had a really good truck today. I know Corey was definitely really good today. I finally got the adjustment at the end that I thought I needed, and finally got the track position to be behind him and to race him at the end. Just, I don't know. I mean, we went down into 3, and unfortunately my teammate was right there, and just kind of hindered our way to the finish. But, congrats to Corey, the whole one team, Tricon. This organization's been really, really good the last 5 weeks, and just shows how good our trucks are. Just so thank you Toyota Racing, everyone that believes in me to do this. Just great calls today. Scott did a really good job in the box making adjustments. Just the last one was definitely one I needed. I caught him. I don't really know what I should have done differently to win the race. I feel like it's so narrow down there. I couldn't have ran in my teammate and punted him out of the way. But it's just definitely unfortunate that we didn't get the win there. But it's awesome that we're keep on climbing and got another top 5. And second place definitely ain't bad to hang our head about. So we'll go on to Bristol with a lot of speed and momentum. And I feel like we're our first ones getting there. Just got to keep on trying.
Honeycutt also talked about what an honor it is to follow Heim after taking over for Heim in 11th this year and more, also courtesy of FS1.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's good that I actually can put the truck where it was at last year and race the guy that won that many races, just because he's a Cup guy. So I think it was really good to race him at the end there. I thought I actually had him suckered there down the front stretch when I got to the top. Just didn't get the lap traffic. Just needed to play that a little better and ultimately try to come out the other end at the winner. But glad that Toyota Racing and Tricon as an organization won the race, whether it was me or him. So our time will come. We got plenty of races to go, and got a lot of good points today, so that was good. And we'll just keep cutting in that lead and see if we can go for the end of it in the title and win a lot of races this year.
Lang Riggs spent his third and his 34 Broadmoor Motorsports Ford F-150. He had a problem at pit road when his truck stalled and accepted what happened. Here's Riggs talking about how in this stage of his career he's able to bounce back from those moments and more, also on FS1.
Yeah, we need these solid days and these bounce backs. I feel like we didn't have a great truck all day. We probably had a 5th to 7th place truck. Just couldn't really fire off on the restarts, really fighting tight. I mean, big tight early there to start the race. So made really big swings at it. My crew chief Dylan did a really good job today. But overall, a great finish to the race. I mean, we need those podium finishes. So far this year, it's either been wreck or win. So we just got to keep stacking these points up. Chandler Smith, my teammate, also did a great job just having to start from the rear of the field. So bare knuckle boxing on the truck. We got a good podium for them. A fight in New York next week, so everybody tune in and see it. So, Mike, I know you're watching at home. Wish you were here, man. But, yeah, overall, it was a solid day that we need.
Riggs also talked about the battle between Honeycutt and Heim ahead of him. Here's more of his thoughts, also courtesy of FS1.
I thought I was about to steal me one. My heart rate got way up there at the end, and I think I made a wrong move. Like I thought that one was going to shoot bottom because the bottom, like the wrapping the line in 1 and 2 was really strong, and then kind of going up kind of the rubber. So I thought one was going to wrap the bottom, so I was going to go high. Once you kind of commit to the corner here, you can't switch it. So just a lot of dirty air behind all those guys. But I had a front row seat. It was entertaining to watch. I was hoping they were going to race a little bit harder, and I was going to steal me one.
Stuart Breesen bet his sport in his 52 Hallmark Racing Toyota. He had a better run this year than last year, as he bit his 29th out of the race that year after getting a lot of damage in a crash. Here's Breesen talking about what he called his day and more, also courtesy of FS1.
A solid day, a momentum-building day for us. Obviously, you always want to win every race, but the old body was pretty good on the long run. I just got to get a little bit more speed out of myself qualifying to seat us a little bit better. But big thanks to Chris, everybody at Helmar International for all the support behind the scenes, getting us here, and Al Hankey at Mohawk Northeast. Jimmy Villeneuve has done a great job, building our shop, and Dustin's did an awesome job crew chiefing today. Good call to stay out there, and we had good speed. We weren't, winning speed, but we got a good notebook to hopefully come back here next year. So big thanks to all those guys. Big thanks to our Northeast Mod fans. And got a little momentum going and get to go to one of my favorite places next week.
Here's more from Breesen talking about momentum heading into Bristol and what's on his side and more, also on FS1.
Good racetracks coming up and really good TRD pros. Done a lot of simulator time working with the Toyota guys really close. So big thanks to all those guys. I feel like our bodies are where they need to be. Our chassis are where they need to be, and then all our guys are working really, really hard. So just appreciate the effort, and we'll keep digging.
The rest of the top 10 was Grant Empinger finishing 5th in the Chevrolet Silverado, defending Rockingham winner Tyler Ankrum 6th, Corey LaJoy, who is making his full-time NASCAR racing return, as he's now driving the 10 Ram for Colic Racing, finished 7th, Ty Majeski, who is now driving the 88 Menards truck after Matt Craftsman retired last year, was 8th. Majeski's Door Sport Racing teammates finishing behind him, with pole winner Jake Garcia 9th and Cole Butcher 10th. Chandler Smith originally finished 4th in the race and was leading the points as well. However, his truck was disqualified due to failing to meet post-race rear body inspection height requirements. Due to his disqualification, the drivers that originally finished behind Smith moved up one spot as a result of that disqualification. Smith wound up being relegated to a 36th place finish, which is last of the 36 truck field. He also dropped to 4th in the points. Other notable finishers included Christian Eckes finishing 13th, Ben Rhodes 18th, Daniel Hemrick 24th, Brendan Butterbean Queen 27th, Frankie Muniz 31st, and Carson Osavar 34th, respectively. Congratulations to Corey Heim on winning at Rockingham. What a dominant win for him there, especially. It's high time once again, as that's what it's called whenever he wins a race in the Craftsman Truck Series, so that's pretty cool there, especially. And I talked about a Corey Heim win before, such as his 2024 win at North Wilkesboro Speedway. I highly recommend that video. I'll leave that in the description. The fact that he dominated the way he did at the Rock, leading 178 of 200 laps, it's hard to believe that he never led this many laps in a race, especially because of the fact that it feels like when he wins, he leads a lot, it feels like. So definitely that's a pretty cool thing that he got to do that, especially, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, especially with all the winning he's done in the Craftsman Truck Series, he won 12 races last year en route to a championship, so he continues to find a way to keep winning in the Craftsman Truck Series, so he just has that incredible talent, so. And not only he's been winning on the track, he's also winning off the track, as his girlfriend is Taylor Reimer, who is also a racer, as she races in the Rockingham Menards series, so that's pretty cool for Heim to be able to have the accomplishments he's had on and off the track, so. And the fact is, it's a travesty that he doesn't have a full-time ride in any of NASCAR Sub-3 series. He should be having one in the higher series, especially, either in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series or in the Cup series, because of the fact he has nothing left to prove in the Craftsman Truck Series, especially because of the fact last year the Craftsman Truck Series was his toy, and the tracks were his playground, so he just found a way to keep winning and all that, and he had a record year there in the Craftsman Truck Series, so he should be in a higher series, but the fact that he's getting track time, definitely that's better than nothing, so, but he should have a full-time ride, and that day will come for Heim, so definitely he shouldn't worry about that, and definitely that'll be pretty cool for Heim there, especially, so. And plus, it was pretty cool that Caden Honeycutt complimented Heim by calling him a Cup guy. Definitely Heim deserves to be in a higher series, so the Cup series will be a pretty cool spot for him, and he's definitely ready for a higher series, so, but yeah, that's pretty cool, but yeah, Honeycutt almost had him there, especially in the race on that last lap, especially, he briefly had the lead, but Heim still got the win, but Honeycutt's day will come, especially he continues to bring fast trucks every race, so especially him driving the old 11 truck that Heim won a lot of races with, so he's just very talented, especially being in a fast truck helps there as well, and he's been running up front, so he's gonna get that win sooner rather than later, so definitely that'll be pretty cool there, especially, but yeah, it's also to be able to see Rockingham again on the Craftsman Truck Series schedule. I talked about the race last year, which was the first time the Craftsman Truck Series and NASCARs, they ran their first race at the Rock since 2013. And that race last year was won by Tyler Anker, so that was a fun race to talk about. I highly recommend the video. I'll leave that in the description. It was fun this year as well. Obviously, it doesn't have the specialty that it is when it's the first year that it's back. But definitely it's pretty fun to be able to watch the Craftsman Truck Series race at the Rock there, especially. So definitely it was a pretty cool show. Even though Heim dominated a lot of the race until the end there, especially when Honeycutt got closer to him, especially after that later caution of the race. But the fact is, it's pretty awesome to be able to see it back for another year, especially since the races at Rockingham last year were under different ownership of the track, especially because of the fact that it was previously owned by Dan Lobenheim of Rockingham Properties, but the track was sold in January to the IHRA, or the International Hot Rod Association. So definitely it's pretty cool that the new ownership will look to keep the track going and all that, because of the fact that when a track is sold, you don't know what's going to happen if the track is still going to be in operation, all that. So definitely it was cool to be able to see races at Rockingham again this year, and hopefully that'll continue as well, so. It was also awesome to be able to see the O'Reilly Auto Parts series there again as well. Seeing Cleus McFarland making his debut in that series, that was pretty cool there, especially. He obviously finished 32nd, a couple of laps down, but at least he got a lot of laps on the track. And William Wallace got his first career win in the O'Reilly series there, especially. So definitely that was pretty cool for him, and pretty cool to be able to see that series again at the Rock also. But yeah, well, also another thing that came back as well, pretty cool there, especially Phil Parsons came back in the booth for FS1 there, especially. He was in the booth there with Regan Smith and Jamie Little, so it was nice to see Phil back in the booth, as he hadn't been in the booth in the Craftsman Truck Series race in a while, so he is in the booth for the ARCA races, but it's nice to be able to see him back in the booth for the Craftsman Truck Series, like I said, so especially he's really good in the booth, so definitely him and Regan Smith, they provided good analysis and all that. obviously with Jamie Little, she is what she is, especially. She's shown to continue to be in the booth as she brings the booth down, and she never shows enthusiasm and all that. It seems like she doesn't want to be there. She seems bored and all that, so hopefully there'll be another person in the booth. I'd rather have Kevin Harvick in the booth, especially as a play-by-play announcer specifically. Yeah, at least he does a better job than what Jamie Little does, in my opinion. So anybody in the booth will be better than Jamie, so. But that's nothing against her personally, so she's better off just sticking to pit road stuff, so that'll be something there especially. But, and also another thing that came back as well, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it, and that is Ram being back in the Craftsman Truck Series. It's pretty cool to talk about a Craftsman Truck Series race with Ram back in it, especially since it came back to the series this year. So, plus it has 5 full-time teams with Colleague Racing. Minnie Tyrell is one of the drivers, as he did the Ram Race for the Sea program, and he won that challenge to be able to get the ride, as he's driving the 14 Ram there, so that's pretty cool. And Corey LaJoie made his full-time NASCAR return in the Ram with Colleague Racing, driving the 10 Ram, so. And the other full-time Colleague Ram drivers are Justin Haley in the 16, and Brendan Butterbean Queen in the 12. And the 25 truck there, Colleague, is used for its free agent program with Ram, so definitely that's pretty cool there, especially. But it's cool to be able to see Ram back in the sport because of the fact that it hadn't been in the Craftsman Truck Series or NASCAR since 2012, so definitely it's pretty cool to be able to see another manufacturer on the track, so. Plus, it's also to be able to see that manufacturer, especially Ram's a pretty cool brand and all that, especially, so definitely that's pretty cool. But yeah, congratulations again to Corey Heim on winning at Rockingham. What a dominant win for him, like I said, and all that. It's pretty awesome to be able to see the Craftsman Truck Series race again at Rockingham Live, so definitely that's a pretty cool thing there, especially. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, and if you are brand new, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.